ESDM stands for the Early Start Denver Model. Early Start Denver Model is a methodology that is used with children on the autism spectrum, and the younger the better. So they recommend that we start ESDM methodologies as early as 12 months of age. And really it has been the program that we have used at School of Imagination to support our kiddos that are neurodivergent. So usually we'll complete an ESDM checklist to find out where the child is functioning. And we also use it up in the therapy offices as well. But it helps us determine where the child is and what goals are next. And the actual treatment methodology of it is all based on, it's evidence-based, research-based intervention. It pulls in behavioral principles from PRT, or pivotal response training, as well as developmental principles from the Denver model and interaction principles from the Denver model, and is the one and only and most cutting edge effective treatment of autism that is out there right now. And so we're really excited that we're able to use it here at School of Imagination, and we'll be building our behavioral therapy program using this methodology. So what's so great about the Early Start Denver model is it actually, when you are going through and working with a child, you have very specific goals that you're working on, and in each area of development you work on one or two goals. And while you're working through these goals, because they're developmentally based, you're doing foundational skills first and then building upon that in the right developmental sequence. And when you do that, basically what they've noticed through MRI studies is that you're rewiring the brain. So with a child with autism, there are certain connections that are defective, that aren't working. And so you can actually see that in an MRI. And what ESDM allows us to do is reach in and teach the children those foundational skills, like making eye contact, like joint attention. Even if they're a little older, we can start earlier and kind of fill in the blanks, fill in the holes that the child has in their development. And since it uses the developmentally appropriate sequence, the children are learning it in the right sequence, and so that it actually carries over into different parts of their development as well. So when they can make eye contact, that improves many other areas, including communication. So we have found a lot of great results from this, using it in the Little Sunshines program and in therapies. So very pro Early Start Denver model. It was started in 1980 by two psychologists, so that's why it encompasses a lot of the behavioral components. But then since all areas of development are worked on, it's perfect for our school program. The other things is that there's a basis for the program, and the basis is connection. So connecting with the child, getting to know them, understanding what motivates them, what makes them laugh, and what upsets them. Connection. So we talk a lot about banking time in the classroom. So that is where Early Start Denver model matches with our program, where we do bank time with the kids to get to know them, to connect with them. And then it's much easier to ask them to do something or make a demand because you have that emotional bank account going. The other piece that its focuses on is imitation. So really working on teaching a child to imitate. The children that are born with autism have difficulty with less mirror neurons in the brain, and so when they imitating is not something that is easy for them or actually done because they don't have those mirror neurons. So with the Early Start Denver model, we have to teach them to imitate. And the more that they imitate, the better that they get at imitating. And then the last piece of things is motivation. So everything is based upon what is motivating for the child, so that it's a natural and fun experience for them. And so that goes right along with SOI, the positive part of it. And so we use a lot of positive reinforcement. We use very positive affect, and that's all to bring the child's attention into your face and to the social and nonverbal communication that happens from the face, and how the face is really a great source of information and connection with other people. And that's why you'll see some kiddos that are more focused on objects and not so much with the face, because they don't really see the point. So by using a big affect, big smiles and interactions, and pulling their eye contact to you, you're connecting to them and making yourself a lot more exciting than any object can be. There's what's also something to keep in mind, and that goes really great with our program, is that ESDM is interdisciplinary. So that means that we're working with the kiddo in the classroom on the goals, the parents are working at home on the goals, the behavioral therapist that's working with the child is working on the goals, the therapists that are in the child's life are working on the goals, the speech and OT. So as you can imagine, everybody's working on the same 5 or 6 goals. The progress goes much more quickly. So we can fill in the blanks, the holes in their development, and then move them along rapidly by updating the goals and using the principles. The other thing is that it's really great with regards to the goals, because there's specific activities that you can do that are provided by ESDM that will focus on these goals. So you can use the classroom routines, but also there's different activities that really help with that. And those are ones that we put in with their goal plan when they do their behavior intervention plan. So that you know what to work on and how. We want to get the behavior before it happens, and then, basically shape around it, redirect it, praise for them not doing it, so that we're trying to get to the behavior and the meaning of it before anything negative happens. And so that's a really great methodology that you'll learn more about as Christy talks about behavioral therapy and ABA. And then the last piece is that it happens all day long and across all environments. So think you have 5 or 6 goals happening at home, happening at school, happening in the therapy room, and we're taking data throughout those different places on those goals. It helps with generalization and flexibility as well. So we hear a lot, they do that at home, but they won't do it at school. Or they'll do it at school, but they won't do it at home. Or they'll do it in the therapy room, but they won't do it at school. So this really eliminates that because we are working on getting those goals in every environment. So I'm going to pass it now to Christy to talk about ABA.